I'm Carcina. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Yo, welcome. We decided to come here and give everybody get them all caught up, rather, as to what's been going on, as YouTube seem to be having some issues with their API, and people are not receiving their notifications, and the live stream destinations don't seem to be arriving where it's supposed to be on StreamYard, and it's presented a lot of problems for people. And because of that, we're going to get to it the best way we can. Now, many of you have probably heard Offset was shot outside of a Florida casino, and a lot of people want to know what's going on. Law enforcement, they're investigating the shooting. It's not serious. He's in stable condition. He's going to survive. But 2 people were detained after the shooting took place following a fight at the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, north of Miami. Now, he was in stable condition. They said they're working to identify others that was involved in it. As the details about the shooting emerge, here's one thing to know about the prominent, Offset, for those who don't know. Kyrie Kendrell Cephas, known as Offset, was 1/3 of the 2-time Grammy-nominated supergroup the Migos. The Atlanta trio is one of the most popular hip-hop groups of all time, celebrated with their flow patterns and imitated style and sound, from the Versace thing in 2013 to Bad and Bougie, Stir Fry, Narcos, T-Shirt. Y'all know him. And Takeoff lost his life in Houston when he was shot, when he wasn't even the intended target, and lost his life unnecessarily. Well, as a solo artist, Offset has released 3 albums by himself, right? And because of this process, Offset, popularly known because he was married to Cardi B, they got 3 kids together, and she filed for divorce in 2024 because he keeps cheating. And all of the situations start going the way it was going. Now, after the thing with Takeoff, you had Nipsey Hussle get killed. You had Pop Smoke, PNB Rock, Dolph. All of these rappers were being killed in various areas, right? Had something to do with all this other nonsense that's going on, right? And nobody else seemed to be covering it or talking about it in the way that it normally should be covered. So for other reasons in particular, there were all these people trying to do different things. about all this gun violence that was transpiring. Now, yeah. Now, Offset has a gambling problem. He likes to gamble and he has lost millions gambling. These are facts. Lost millions. And all of these incidents that seem to be circling around the Lil Tjay incident, let's get to how it starts, because Lil Tjay was a friend of Offset. You know, and they ran into each other. They were cool and cordial. So TJ runs into Offset at a casino one time, and he's panicking. And he was like trying to get people to cash app him because he couldn't get to any money. And he saw Lil Tjay, and he borrowed $10,000 allegedly from TJ, who's what's his name? Tion Jayden Merritt. So all of a sudden, they have an argument, a back and forth. Then it's supposed to be a thing where they're supposed to meet up to fight, because he exposed that Offset was broke. Offset needed money for gambling. So Offset was like, look, dog, come get it back in blood. That's what he told him. Come get it back in blood. Because TJ was like, look, we can meet up. We can have a boxing thing. We can meet up and fight. What have you. So Offset told him, come get it back in blood. And because he said those words to Lil Tjay, allegedly, Offset is at the casino by himself. There's no security there. It's just him. Now, when it's just you, nobody's going to come to your aid. It's just you, bro. You're on your own on this one. You're going to have to fly and steer the ship yourself. Straight like that. Now, here's the problem with said scenario. Here's the problem with said scenario. You got beef in the area and the fans gonna recognize it's you. They're gonna want to come up to you and record you and take pictures with you. And I understood why Offset, who was meeting people and fans and saying, hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? But he want them to like leave him alone. And it's not gonna happen. They're gonna keep coming because you Offset. Right? Now, tired of these damn bug season, these mosquitoes and all this shit flying around. Now, here's the thing that people just didn't want to accept or recognize that they should have. When this thing started to develop, people decided, I'm going to go live and record them. So Offset is on the video that this guy recorded going, man, I'm by myself, man. I don't want to take a picture right now because I'm by myself. And he was, man, how you going to be like that to your people? And, like these people don't understand anything. I just want one picture, man. One picture is all I'm asking. This is a grown-ass man who's recording this video, crying like a little woman because a man don't want to take a photo with him, not understanding the light that puts them in danger. That's the same thing that got, what's his name, killed. Dolph. Somebody recorded Dolph at the gas station, so they knew he was in town, knowing that there's people out there trying to harm him. And sure enough, allegedly, Lil Tjay shows up and him and his friends get arrested and booked the same night for disorderly conduct, which is a $500 bond, right? So his lawyer, Don Florio, denied that her client was involved in the shooting and said that's just rumors, but said Lil Tjay has not been shot, nor has Lil Tjay been charged with any shooting. The reports to the contrary is false. We encourage people to consult trusted news sources to verify the accuracy of any reporting before reflecting and sharing and repeating baseless rumors. Now, they said the incident began as a fight, and the second person detained at the scene, who has not been charged yet, so they want to investigate who that person is that was involved in the incident, which is ongoing. Now, TJ known for calling my phone. Right? Well, we don't know if that's the person that shot him or not. It could have been someone else. But TJ was arrested for disorderly conduct and the situation. So the person who might actually did the shooting has not been charged yet. They're still investigating before they start throwing charges, whoever the second person is. But TJ is going to get the blunt of the situation. So we want to make sure that you guys was going. PNB Rock was identified by people inside. It was nothing to do online. The people inside set him up. So some people that was working at Chicken and Waffles actually set him up. But he was moving with no security. You see what happens when you move with no security, and when you think you can go amongst the general public, you know, people are always plotting. You never know in the general public who wants to harm you or who don't. You know, it's a lot of people that's crazy out there. Crazy still exists. For people that don't believe in crazy and think crazy is just a joke, no, crazy still exists. Hit the like button up for crazy, because crazy still exists. People do things just because they're crazy. And in Florida, anybody can basically carry a gun. So it's hard to charge somebody with the gun charge as of yet without knowing the situation. So these are the details that I just gave y'all for the whole shooting incident. No, because see, they're not thinking about a fight. Your mind is thinking about a fight. Their mind is not thinking about a fight. Their mind is thinking about harming you. For whatever the reason may be, y'all have a personal beef. And in this game, the person that come to hurt you normally be somebody that's the biggest fan of you That's what they said. It'd be a person that you took a picture with. Yeah, it'd be somebody that you took a picture with, right? The person that you took the photos and everything with and chilled, those will be the people that come to destroy you. Mm. Well, when you see things that don't make sense, that's when you're gonna go in a direction that don't other people might not agree with. They have no intentions. These people have no intentions, no plans to do things correctly. They want to do things that they feel is within the parameters of what they call the narrative, right? They want to go down the road of the narrative. The person you take a picture with might be the one that try to come take your head off. That's just how it is. And without something to hold everybody together,
a clothing store on 7.
most of these people who gathered around to have events, to have all of these sessions where everybody can get together and be on the same page, and they all had these dreams of making it. You know, when you have like all these rappers come together and they trying to succeed and everybody cool with each other, it'd be the person you took a picture with and you blew up and they feel like, why you ain't come get me? It's like, come get you. Like, dude, you weren't in my crew. I was cool with you. You know, I hope you make it, but most of them ain't gonna come to even have a conversation. They gonna just slick dish you to try to get some attention or get people to hate you and say, oh, he don't come around the hood no more. He Hollywood now because you got shows booked. We didn't see that happen to other artists where people wanted them to entertain that wave and start a beef because that was the way to go. And it's like, dude, y'all got family members all in the same town. So now y'all families are going to be fighting each other. And that's how crazy it got with Chingy and Nelly. Two people ain't even supposed to be beefing. It's like, what in the hell are we beefing about, dog? It's stupid. Mm-hmm. He said another Atlanta Negro telling. I don't think there was anything to tell. The police is right there. It's outside of a casino. You know where the police be? At a casino. It's not, they're not that far off. They right there on the scene. So if a shooting take place, how long do you think a fight take place or anything? Cops are already on the scene. It's a casino. You know, y'all don't understand that it's a lot of other street dudes that people just don't know. Like, let's take D12 for instance, right? You know Eminem. Eminem, the biggest thing going, right? So Eminem is who the industry care about. They don't care about D12. They care about Eminem. That's it. So when D12 started blowing up and doing their thing, they're all a group. Eminem like, hey, it's us. And they're like, well, okay, we want an Eminem feature, and then we'll do 1 minute on the group. You know, they don't care about the other guys. They're just nameless faces to them. So without Eminem, they don't really give a shit. So is that on Eminem? Is that on the industry? What part did Eminem stop fighting for them? When they were working against D12 the entire time. Then you got to see how all of these particulars fall into play. You know, TJ, who's another rapper, you know what I'm saying? The way he put it is like, I barely know Offset. Like, he ain't my guy like that. But I'm like, he's a good dude. And I'm going to help him out. I don't know these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, Offset was locked up with my boy. You know what I'm saying? AG Bando. You know, rest in peace to AG Bando. But he was locked up with him in county. And he was telling me he was going to help him with his career when he got out, and he did. He had him open for him when he came up here to Chicago. He was like, man, I'm in Chicago doing my thing, but he lived down there in Georgia too. So, but he from up here, Gov Lane. So when he came and did his show, they opened up for the Migos. So they tried to do their thing and it just didn't work. And they didn't want nothing to do with it. And that type of music is only gonna go so far because there's so many people doing the same thing. You got to be connected within the industry or have some type of buzz. You got to have some type of, like, people know you. You've been rocking shows. You built a following. You know what I'm saying? When you come up there and you have your own set or your own crew and you've been trying to, you know, get to the next level, it's going to be hard coming from your city. When you don't have a music city, most people have to go to New York. Most people have to go to LA. They got to go now. Atlanta's a hub. So you got all of these people creating these new avenues to try to get their music out. I think it wasn't about just the paper, dog. If Offset owed him the money, you know what I'm saying, just pay him because you owe. You know what I'm saying? My thing would be like this, dog. I owe you. I know it. Here, boom. That's that. I'm going to hit you off right now, and then I'm going to hit you off again later. Like, don't trip. I got you. To me, that's working with somebody. You know what I'm saying? But when you trying to blow them off and play them, and then you tell them to come get it back in blood, that's now you playing with your life. You putting your life in danger. You putting your kids' life in danger. Whoever gonna be around you, you can put them in danger. You see, I'm telling you, I come from a place where I've seen this happen. I've seen people, innocent people, get shot for being hanging around the cool dude. Dude saw us, shook up with us. Hey man, what's up, man? What's happening, man? Man, ain't seen you in a minute, man. You still on that video game stuff, man? That was his last words to me. He went around the corner. Bah, da, 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 da. He got hit. His homeboy got hit. And his boy didn't even do nothing. That was his last words to us. This dude used to trade like Nintendo games with us. The regular NES, back when people used to take the back of the take the game out, because all Nintendo was actually one cartridge like this long, one little microchip. That whole casing is just an empty shell, so that they would have the screwdriver, the right screwdriver, to get the screws off, take the top off, remove the chip out, replace it with a whack-ass game that everybody got, and then sell you the case. Like, here you go. So you would have to put the case in there and actually play the game to see if it is what it is. Be like, okay, all right, we could trade. We could trade now. That's how it was back then. The gaming area back then was serious, dog. You couldn't trade somebody at face value. Be like, oh, this is what this is. And they put it in there, and they go, man, this gyromite. So, no. Right. So he used to trade games with us, man. That's how you know. It's like, man, you still on that video game stuff, man. Then he went around the corner and got chopped up. But we didn't know it. You know, I'm sitting in my boy's hood. I'm in his neighborhood. This is not my neighborhood. I'm sitting on the porch in his hood, and we see this guy. And he's from my neighborhood. He used to live there. Now he lived out there. And he done got into some serious stuff out there. And right when he go around the corner, him and his homeboy, they both got shot up. His homeboy survived, but he shot up, like in pain. But him, gone instantly. Through. So it goes to show you how quick things can happen. But it wasn't random. They targeted him because of something he's done. You know, and the person that was with him just happened to be rolling with him. They weren't there, but they got laid down too. So this is what Offset got to remember. It's like, dude, your cousin was just murdered. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't there. Offset wasn't there when that happened. Because they weren't dealing with Offset no more. So they was already falling out with him over a girl. You let a girl that nobody with no more come in there and disrupt the entire group. That Quavo, Offset, and them were all. And the thing is, Offset really didn't. I mean, Quavo and all the rest of them, you know, Tank didn't have a problem really with Offset. He knew he was foul. He knew out of the whole thing, Offset was foul, but they cousins. So he's like, we got to sit down and talk this out at one point. Because we too divided. You know what I'm saying? We way too divided. So when they come at people and they come at people from angles, they never see the growth. They never see them develop and become something. They always see them at on a downward spiral. They never see them on an up. right? No, the whole thing he did, it's like Offset had no respect. You know, it's like, dog, would he if he'd have did that and came after Cardi, you know what I'm saying? Like on Takeoff's tribute, they fighting backstage over the same garbage, and they got to go out there and perform for their cousin. The only one that was trying to hold both of them together. And that's what Cardi was like, y'all fighting over this? This is so stupid. You know, but this is what happened when you do drugs. You do syrup, you do pills, you do lean. All you thinking, no, none of this stuff has any effect on me. The side effects of the drugs are for real. You're numbing parts of your brain that would process and tell you this is dumb as hell. All the chicks in the world I could bang, well, I want this. You doing it to mess with him. Offset came here with the Migos and they didn't perform. The people thought they were going to perform. So the promoter misled them. They didn't have enough money to pay for the Offset and Migos to perform. What they did was they had enough money for what they call a walkthrough. And this misunderstanding happens with concerts a lot. So they be like, the Migos gonna be in the house. So people buy their tickets to come in there because they want to see the Migos, think the Migos gonna perform. And sometimes the promoters play this game and try to put them on the spot so that they can perform. This happened with Young M.A. This happened with a lot of artists, and they try to dump it on the artist's lap. Like, oh, they did us wrong. And they blame the artist for it when it's the janky promoter's fault. They didn't have the money. They know they didn't have the money. So they said, all right, we'll pay for a walkthrough. And then when they like, man, they didn't even perform. They just came in and left. And the promoter was like, man, we got burnt. They came in and did that to us, man. That's all right. We ain't going to book them for no more shows. They out of here. And all y'all don't support them no more because they supposed to go out and perform. And they trick people like that. And Young M.A. tried to go out and at least do one song because they put her in the spot. And she realized, and the promoter was like, no, just go out and do a song. I'm going to have the money for you at the end of the night because we getting money at the door. He's like, so I'm going to just have the rest of the money for you. Just go and do a song, you know? So she did it on the strength. But see, mostly nobody's stupid like that. On a walkthrough, you don't even touch a mic. You don't even got to. The only thing on a walkthrough is instructed. You walk in, you go around the entire place, basically one time, and then you can walk out. That's basically a walkthrough. It's negotiated on certain people, like what you want to do, how you want to move, you know, how the comfort level is, how the entertainment is set up, how they want to go about, you know, the process. But normally a walkthrough is just that. It's a walkthrough. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a straight up walkthrough. Now, you can choose to kick it and stay later. What the Migos did is they came in and they saw the setting was so cool. They was like, they chilled out and smoked for a minute. So they stayed in the back. It was like, the Migos is in the house, everybody. They showed that they were there. They was like, all right, cool, what's up? And they listening to the rappers. And this is the show where the Migos had my boy open up for. He was locked up with Offset. So he come in contact with him, and true to form, he got him the show. He's like, look, I'm going to be in y'all town doing X, Y, and Z. I'm going to come chill and kick it with y'all, smoke, whole thing, right? They chill, they smoke. Everything, and he talked to him, Migos and everything. Offset was same old Offset he was back in County. So he was the same way. He told him, hey man, you know, do your thing. When you get back to, you're gonna be out there in Georgia and Atlanta. All right, well, cool, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna try to work with you. But they were trying to take his publishing. And once he went and got his publishing all taken care of already, that's when everybody turned on him. He was like, man, yeah, you get your, he's like, yeah, so what you doing this? He's like, yeah, man, I already got my publishing. He's like, you got your publishing deal already? He's like, yeah. All right, they ain't want to work with him no more. Nobody wanted to work with him because he owned his own publishing. They didn't want that because they wanted to try to get a piece of that publishing. See, now that he already did that, they was like, man, oh, I can't even, can't deal with you. Like he did something wrong. But that's a whole nother story to tell. But he was like, man, everybody turned on me. The moment I got my publishing taken care of, all of a sudden, nobody wanted to help out no more. Nobody was like, yo, man, I'm going to help get you here. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you on this track with so-and-so. I was like, man, that's crazy how quick that was. Because I told him, like, man, hey, get your publishing, man. Make sure your publishing is straight. You take care of that business first. You know, and I told him the indie route is going to be the best thing to go for you because they're not going to want to deal with you because you got your publishing like that. They ain't got nothing to steal from you. You got it. You coming through the door owning your own publishing? Come on, man. So he came in there and got his publishing thing taken care of, man. Everybody, the producers, everybody, they didn't want nothing to do with him. They didn't want to touch him. He was like, damn, dog, all them songs I recorded with dude, I can't even use them. They done. He's like, I might have to put those lyrics on another beat. But he was like, man, those songs was monsters. And he's like, I can't even use them. It's burnt. Now, that's the biggest thing. Can he afford a bodyguard? And my thing is, why you up there by yourself? No homeboys, no cousins, nobody there with you. It's not a good sign. So on the walkthrough, they came through. They kicked it. They smoked for a minute. They met the people that promoted the show. They came there. They took a picture with all of them together, and then they dipped. And everybody was like, man, where the Migos go, man? What they leaving for? And it led to a fight where somebody got shot and killed outside of the damn club. Somebody always got killed inside that club. They weren't going to be open long. It was a body like almost every other night. I was like, look, this club ain't going to be open long. I think it was the Aragon or something like that. But yeah, that place, man, it was a body laying every night. Yeah, he gambled a lot, man, a lot. Cardi B, man, he gambled so much of Cardi's money. She used to give him money to go gamble. Cardi don't spend money like that. That's one thing I would say about Cardi B. Right now, she's suing right now because some of her friends, whatever 4 dudes, then stole some money. She talking about getting them beat up. They took like 50 grand for her. While she on tour, she don't spend no money on clothes. And most of these people give her clothes. Like they give Cardi B outfits and all this stuff to wear. So she don't really have to spend that much money. But see, most of these rappers, don't nobody be gifting them nothing. Back in the day, my cousin them, they got gifted everything. See, Dada was out. The company Dada, and I don't know, y'all probably too young to remember Dada. And Rockaware came around and did them dirty, trying to take them out the game like Dada. Offset burned too many bridges. That's facts. He did. This is an example of burning too many bridges. That's when you see people alone like that, either by choice, by hook or by crook. If I roll alone, it's because I chose to. For me, it's different. I ain't burnt no bridges. I can go anywhere. I'm just like, the less I travel by myself, or if I'm traveling with some people, you normally don't see the people. I'm not going to go live with them, or anything of that nature. But you've seen where I go. I'm in every environment. I'm outside. You've seen it everywhere. But mostly I'm going to the mall. I'm going to the movies. I'm going to simple places. I'm not going to a lot of craziness. You've seen me in the casino. You see me win. You see me do a lot of stuff everywhere. But normally, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to be with somebody, or I'm going to meet somebody that's going to already be there. I like to drive myself. I don't like to ride with other people, because that's how car accidents happening, and I'll be damned if I get killed because I'm the passenger. And this idiot got me killed in the car accident. I'll be kicking his ass all the way in heaven. I'll be, God, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. I'm like, man, I shouldn't be right here right now. I had things to do. All right, I let my uncle drive my car one time. And what happened? I'm in the passenger seat. He hit somebody. Well, the person hit them. But I'm like, I saw that coming. And you didn't. I was like, see, that's why I got to drive. Havana Joe's. Yeah, I remember Havana. Man, I'll be mad as hell over something like that. Can't do that to me. Offset, what's his next move should be? Man, his next move should be changing his lifestyle. This gunshot, whatever, is a warning, bro. The next time it won't be a shot you get up from. Well, Yeah, well, no, it wasn't gonna crack the worldwide appeal of the no. I'm telling you, Offset made 3 albums, and I swear to God, I can't tell you one song off of any of them. So the thing is that their style have been so mimicked and copied that they flow good together as a group. They don't flow together well individually as they did as a group. See, Quavo was the creativity. He was the architect. He was going to make sure the sound is right. The rapper was Takeoff. Offset was the star. He was the guy that was going to get into trouble. He was the bad boy of the band. You know, he was going to be the face of all of it. It was Offset. Take personalities to stay back. He was the rapper. So if this was G Unit, you know, you got Offset would be 50's position. Banks would be Takeoff. You see what I'm saying? With the personalities. But how it went was completely different. Because Quavo was pretty much Dr. Dre in the situation. Like he the one creates the beats, produce the tracks, know the way he wanted to sound and how it should come off. And he'll say, "Hey, go do this. We're gonna do this sound here. We're gonna do this ad lib. We're gonna do this, and I want to do it like that." The verses is gonna come from Tate. Tate verse is gonna destroy, and that's why I'm like, look, this little dude can rap. He quiet as hell, but he can rap. I mean, that's a shame to see him get to that position and to see where he ends up. To me, that makes no sense. Mm. Well, the thing is, when you when you do things that don't categorize yourself in a position where your image would be carried over to a position that would be respected. Like Offset was being respected not from rap for just being with Cardi B. When that's your whole thing is, oh, I'm with Cardi B, oh, I'm with Cardi B, oh, I'm with Cardi B. That's what you're gonna be known for. That's it. You known for being with Cardi B. That was his whole thing. Like, yo, I'm down with Cardi B, Cardi B, Cardi B, and Offset, Cardi B and Offset. That was your brand. But you want to be a horn dog, lean dog, pill dog, perk dog. And now all of a sudden, she's moved on without you. She never needed to be associated with you. Her people was trying to get her to get rid of you. And now she ain't missed a beat. She had put out one album in like 10 years. Who could live off one album for 10 years? They debut album at that. Oh, she was being protected and invested in. And they were keeping all the money going Cardi's way. Any little thing pop up, Cardi was the one. And it's hard to believe Cardi been here 10 years already. Because she just released her second album. Like 10 years later. That's crazy. All right, I gamble, you know me, I gamble, but I'm not going to gamble away the rent. I'm not going to gamble away rental properties. I'm not going to gamble away the mortgage. I'm not going to gamble away the car notes. I'm not going to gamble away the light bill, the gas bills, other investments, properties, taxes. I'm not going to do all that. The Migos were so good that when they decided to drop their album that everybody was anticipating after the Bad and Bougie blow up, the next album they dropped, the Culture album, fans turn on them. Oh, this ain't hot. They had the song with Drake that was taken off, but after that, no one really cared about the Culture album no more. And it didn't have the hits like that. You know why? Because everybody emulated their sound. So you've been listening to the Migos for a whole 2 years of everybody else jumping into the mix sounding like the Migos featuring the Migos. So you've been listening to them for 2 years. But now here they come with their album. It's like, well, damn, I just heard so-and-so do this album. And then they didn't own anything. See, that's the next step. You didn't own nothing. Everybody else owned your stuff. All your hit records. Leor Cohen is eating real good off y'all. See, people, they come in the game and getting a bad deal before they even realize what a deal is. Well, when people decide there's things they want to do and the directions they want to go down or go towards, there are certain people in this world that's gonna have your back, and there's others that won't. And when you get into a scene where other people look at you and they look at you from a different, you know, they look at you from a different perspective, is that your audience, you think they're gonna ride with you forever. Most of your audience who were 18-year-olds back then or 21-year-olds, they're now 31. You know what I'm saying? They're 31 now. When the people that's been listening to you, they 34, 31, they not doing the same things they was at 21 or 18. Now they married. Now they got jobs. They ain't grown up. They don't listen to the Migos anymore. You know, they don't listen to the wait for the new Offset single. They probably listening to some old songs they done moved on, especially the white kids. The white kids don't do that. They listen to hip hop till they get to a certain age, and then they get married, and their wife make them throw that shit out, and they be selling their old CDs. Hey, I was like, that's how I got my Bravehearts back. I was like, man, I had my Braveheart CD. I ain't know what happened to it. Then I got it back from my boy who I worked with because his wife made him kick all his hip hop stuff out the crib. She was like, I can't believe you listened to this garbage. And it's like, yep. He was not me. Well, my thing was always different. My thing was always to look at it from the scale that they presented it as. If Lil Tjay did do this, that's dumb. This is a dumb way to go about trying to get your money. Uh, you know, and it lead to a situation like this. And if you young looking at this, you know, I don't know about Lil Tjay or whatever, but if this is what he got to do to get his money, what you gonna use the money for? Bail? So far he only got a $500 fine, you know, for disorderly conduct. So he's out on bail. So he'll use this as a right. He'll use this as a get back method. Yeah. Well, Right now, that's where it is. He's like, I can't stop laughing. Nobody is gonna be down with that kind of behavior, though, dog. It's like at some point, people got to grow up. You know what I mean? They got to grow up. Because what's the point? That's what I always tell people. I'll be like, well, what's the point? You feel me? Now I'm going to go to the Patreon and get some things. Cena versus Braun at WrestleMania. Oh, we'll tear the house down. Braun can be, all right, you got to pull your punches. I mean, oh, that looked real. That looked real, JB. That Cena really cocked back and hit LeBron. He's going in his trunks. What is that? A foreign object. Ugh. Braun, that wasn't rehearsed. Cut. It's a foreign object. See y'all over there at the Patreon, man. You're going to want to be there because we got a lot coming. You're going to want to be there. That's all I know.